Did you do it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, because
right.
you didn't fucking check with me, huh?
No, are you ready though?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's already recording.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
This is how we feel. 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 This is how we feel.
Welcome to This Is How We Feel, the podcast. A show where each week we take a piece of media and tell you how we feel. This week, I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm Baby J, the guest.
And today, we're going to tell you how we feel about Hitch, the Will Smith movie from 2005. But before we get into it, Taylor, as always... Oh, wait a minute. First of all, I want to say sorry about the 2-week hiatus. Some things happened. We have lives, and... We weren't able to do it the first week. Justin was sick, and I was in Vegas for a trade show the second week. So we're back, and we're better than ever, which means that Ryan is back hosting, and he's got the evens now, so fuck you. I'm on the even numbers, Justin. I hate you.
Yeah, well, I'm an odd bitch, so whatever, it fits.
Oh, you're an odd bitch. You get 69, but I get 420, so let's hope we make that many, actually. So without further ado, Taylor, hit us with your...
Taylor's Bachelor Breakdown.
I gotta make number 69 a sexy one.
It's going to be a sexy movie.
Spin that shit, Taylor!
Gonna introduce me and we're just gonna talk?
No, yeah, I'm going to introduce you, Taylor, just like every week. We do this every week. All right, Taylor, your time starts now.
Hometowns are finally here, and all of the parents are concerned. First Impress Rose winner Hannah Ann welcomes Peter to Tennessee, where they go axe throwing. Peter gives Hannah a love letter and tells her that he's falling in love with her. Peter meets up with Kelsey in Iowa, and they stomp grapes to make their own wine. Then he meets up with Madison in Alabama, where Madison shows him up in basketball, making Peter look very unathletic. She's a virgin, but isn't going to tell him until it's way too late. Victoria F. tries to redeem her childish behavior from last week and fails. An ex calls her a homewrecker. Peter doesn't meet her parents, yet she still gets a rose, sending Kelsey home. Side note, Victoria brought Hunter Hayes.
That's time. That side note is not getting in there. Thank you, Taylor. Have a good day. Have a good day. Just kidding. Don't have a good day because we have 2 more to do. Okay. You ready for your second one? Mm-hmm. All right. Your time starts now.
It is officially Fantasy Suite Week. Prior to going into this week, Madison lets Peter know that she doesn't want him to sleep with any of the other girls in the Fantasy Suites. Remember, we are talking about Peter, Windmill Peter. That being said, first up is Hannah Ann, jet skis, and 100% shower sex. Somehow, Victoria is still on the show and accepts the sweet key after their boring date. 50-50, they got it on. The moment everyone has been waiting for. Madison is finally here. They go on their usual date and dinner, but Madison drops the virgin bomb and asks Peter if he slept with the other girls on their dates. Peter says yes. Madison's crying. Peter's crying. Cut to the part where she walks away without saying.
And that's time. Okay. You ready for this week's episode of The Bachelor?
Yes.
Great answer. Your time starts now.
Starting off with the rose ceremony, Hannah and Victoria are standing there wondering where Peter is. Better late than never, but mostly planned by producers, Madison arrives. First rose goes to Hannah Ann and then Madison, sending the disliked and annoying Victoria home. Cut to the women tell all portion. The entire remaining hour and a half was a group of grown women yelling back and forth. The only thing I actually enjoyed was Kelsey reminding us about Champagne Gate and being able to explain herself, then becoming relatable, and then somehow got a 70-year-old lady to chug champagne on national television. Chris Harrison looked overwhelmed, and his facial expressions were like an apology to viewers.
That is time. Wow, Champagne Gate makes a return. Thank you, Taylor. Bye. Now you can have a good day. Bye. Have a good day. Bye. Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good day. Well, that was 3 weeks worth of Taylor's Bachelor breakdowns. We gave her 1 minute and 30 seconds. Well, technically 30 seconds per week still. So,
It's
but
getting
we're all
narrower.
caught up.
It's so funny that they always end up with one person. I wonder if The Bachelor, like in the previous seasons, do they end up together? Like, do they work out? They actually get married happily ever after? Or is it like
Most of the time, no. Most of the time, they break up like a week later.
That's what I assumed. I didn't want to assume it, but that's what I did assume. Okay.
I want to say that's what happened to this girl. Like, she was on The Bachelor, and then he was like, nah, I don't want it anymore. So then they put her on The Bachelorette. That wasn't words.
That's kind of like... No, that's kind of like how Flavor Flav had New York on, and then she had I Love New York.
But did New York win, though?
No, she didn't even win. No. She had a whole other show after that. And then the same thing happened with, what was it, Pumpkin. I think Pumpkin had a whole thing.
I thought you were talking about, didn't she have a guy named Chance or...
I can't remember his name. Oh, Boston.
No.
I think it was like Mr. Boston or something like that.
No. Well, she did have a Mr. Boston, I think, but...
And then he got his own show.
No. The guy that got his own star started with a C. It was like the Chancellor, or I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, we'll look it up later. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. I need to know.
Emperor Palpatine over here. Chancellor Valorum.
Chancellor Valorum.
I will not let my people suffer and die while you discuss this in a committee. In a committee.
In a committee. In a committee.
In a committee.
I love New York.
Yeah, Mr. Boston, or just Boston, I think his name was, had a show.
Hold on.
And then he ended up with
Real
Pumpkin.
Chance of Love. Yeah, Real Chance of Love. The guy's name was Chance, I guess.
Chance.
Yeah.
Real Chance of Love. Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
You said the Chancellor, and that threw me off.
I don't know. I said Chance first, but then I was like, can it be Chance? I mean, that's like the rapper's name, so.
You're right, Chance the Rapper.
Anyways, we're here to talk about Hitch, one of my favorite romantic comedies of the early 2000s. I love Will Smith, love Eva Mendes. It's a fantastic movie. This is Justin's first watch through. Justin, what did you think about it?
I liked it. I thought there was going to be... I mean, every time I hear it's made in the 2000s, I get a little wary. You know, their humor was not always okay. She was a little problematic back then. But it was good. It didn't have any of that. There was like one problematic line, but it really wasn't even that big.
Yeah, we talk a lot about it at the beginning of the movie. He says something like, she's either saying, get away from me, or try harder, stupid. And it's like, no means no, Will.
Yeah,
No means
sometimes no means no, you know?
So Hitch was actually directed by Andy Tennant, who was a dancer for a long time in his life. He danced. He was an extra role in Grease and in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Like, that's the whole like Beatles thing that they did. And then he directed an episode of The Wonder Years and some other TV stuff. And then he directed It Takes Two, which is that Olsen twin movie.
Oh, I know that one. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
I know that.
Fools Rush In, which is a movie I haven't seen, but I've heard is really good. Sweet Home Alabama, and The Bounty Hunter. And I think The Bounty Hunter is the one with
That's the Gerard Butler?
Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a really
Jennifer
cute
Aniston.
one. We got to do that
What?
one, too. That's a good little rom-com.
Who's Katherine Heigl?
Yeah, Katherine Heigl's
not-
the news reporter, right?
Oh, I don't know. Wait, is it Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler?
Oh, God. I know it's Gerard Butler. I think it's some other blonde lady in the role. But either way, that is a good one. And then the third actor's so cute because she's like a little news reporter, and then they ended up in a hot air balloon. It's a cute movie.
Is it Jennifer Aniston? I want to say it is, but Babe is telling me no, and it is Jennifer Aniston, and I was right.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was a good one.
yeah, I remember them being handcuffed together. That's the only reason I remember that. But I didn't see it. But you know, it is kind of weird. I feel like the other movies he did were a little more. I don't know. I haven't seen The Bounty Hunter, so maybe I'm talking shit. But
I mean, The Bounty
feel like
Hunter fits into the
it takes-
rom-com.
Right, but It Takes Two, Full Rush In, Sweet Home Alabama, they're all like more like practical rom-coms, where The Bounty Hunter is kind of an extreme circumstance rom-com.
That is true. I mean, Hitch is like almost the same thing. Like, because of his profession, he's going
It's like,
to,
yeah.
he meets up with
It's
the
only
character.
like low-key believable, so.
And then the profession kind of gets in the way of the love. But I do like that he was like a dancing person, because there was a lot of dancing in this movie.
In Hitch? Yeah, okay, I can see that.
There was some
yeah.
Kevin
All of it,
James
none
scenes,
of it was choreographed.
the
None of it
Will
was
Smith-
choreographed.
Oh, I feel that. I feel that hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
you got the
course.
the two best improvisers in Hollywood at the time right here on your thing.
That was a fun fact on the IMDb page that like Kevin James's dances weren't choreographed, and I was like, I don't know why they thought that was a fun fact. Like, it's so obvious he's just dancing.
Yeah,
Kevin
it was
James.
so
He's
Kevin
not-
James.
Like, of course he's not. No, like, what did they expect me to say? Oh my God, no one went in there and taught him those steps. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, okay, Kevin James. Now you're gonna have to back it up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Show us the
5,
ass.
6, 7, 8.
No, Kevin
and
James, you're not
slip,
hitting the moments
pratfall,
right.
Grab the marble, slip on the floor, hit the glass. Like, no.
It's a lot of dancing, and I love the moment at the end. I love when at the end of the movie everything's resolved and the cast just gets together to dance for no reason, and it fit
yeah,
into the
Love
story
Train.
too because it was like a whole wedding dance scene. It was great.
Yeah, I love a Love Train dance scene.
Love Train? Who dat?
What did I say? Did I say Love Train? I meant Soul Train.
Soul Train. Okay.
What did I say?
Love Train. I was very confused.
I meant Soul Train. I don't know
Also
what the
haven't
fuck I'm
seen
on.
Soul Train, but it's also like the Shrek wedding moment at the end of the movie where you're all just happy to be dancing and singing, you know, have fun with the
Right,
characters that
yeah.
you just made.
Look up Soul Train when you get a chance. The movie is written.
Okay.
The movie was written by Kevin Bish.
Bish!
Bish. I read somewhere that there was very heavy rewrites by somebody else. I think Andy Tennant actually did most of the rewrites.
Okay.
But Will Smith and Kevin James did give, their own take to some of these scenes, and I think a lot of that got stuck in there. Especially Will Smith, like they basically wrote it on the fly. So
Yeah.
the whole 90-10 thing, I know he made all that up, which is cool.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
a big important scene too.
Exactly. So here's the plot. While helping his latest client woo the woman of his dreams, a professional date doctor finds that his game doesn't quite work on the gossip columnist with whom he's smitten.
That's not super accurate, but I get it. That's the
hated that
point.
plot summary. That was not great.
Yeah, because the game does work, if anything. It's only when he's found out, he's been found.
I just like it when it's hooky, and that wasn't very hooky to me, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, it describes the movie, I guess. That's what I thought was going to happen going into it, but doesn't, really give you the nuance of the themes of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just jump right into it. So the movie opens up with Will Smith, Alex Hitchens. You know Will Smith from everything Will Smith's ever done, from Existing.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
He's talking about basically in this open narration speech, talking about how men suck ass, but some men don't, and those men deserve love with beautiful women. God damn it! If it's the last thing he fucking sees, that's what it is. It's gonna be.
Okay, and that's
That
where
was
we get
bad.
that one problematic line where it's like, "Oh yeah, everyone deserves a chance at love, and even these guys who strike out, you just need to try harder."
Yeah, and that's
we were
not
both like,
necessarily
"Ooh, all
the
right."
right thing to say there, Mr. Hitchens, but that's okay. So he's definitely going to help them, get in the door. That's what he wants to do. We get the sense that he's kind of a consultant of love. That's kind of what we get from just that first narration speech.
Mm-hmm.
All he says, what he says is all he needs is 3 dates, and usually after that third date, you're in love. And that's it. He can pretty much guarantee that.
I don't know how true that is, but I mean, 3 dates. I mean, that doesn't really. That's like a very 2000s, old school. Oh yeah, after the third date, you kiss her, or after the third date, you're in there. That's very showing of that time. Because nowadays, date number 1, you already know, hit it and run, or are we doing this for real?
Right. Then we see a flashback of Will Smith, Alex, when he was in college, and he's a giant dweeb. He meets a girl, and they click, and he is clearly more into her than she is to him, aka every relationship I've ever had in my entire life. He says, I love you, intensely 12 times in 30 seconds, and she's just like, yeah, please kiss me, shut up. And that's probably why he finds her in a car with another guy making out. Alex is upset, and he screams that he just wants to know why this is happening, and all she can say is she is sorry. He's all, what did I do? What did I do? And the dude who she's making out with, who Justin thought was most deaf because he's racist, said, dude, you're doing it right now. And that was real fucked up.
It did look like him. I want to know who the actor is, if they actually look alike, because it was, a dark scene in a rainy car, and you could barely see him through the windshield.
I'll give you that, I guess. But, I don't know. Most deaf, he looks like a dude. And this dude, I don't know, just looks like another dude.
Oh, okay. They both look like dudes. Thank you.
Man.
That's
tell you.
factual evidence.
That's 1 point in your favor. I guess you're right.
Bling. Justin 1,
So-
Ryan 0.
That whole college experience is pretty much what started him being the secret date doctor. He the only men he helps are the ones that refer to him and deserving. They have to be dweebs like he was.
Yeah, and that's good because I could have clearly seen it going that because obviously he's a flawed character in the beginning, and then he learns the error of his ways. But I thought it was going to be he helps all the the dickheads and all the assholes in the world.
Right.
But at least he's got some moral. He's
yeah.
not a bad person in the beginning. He's just a little
not
bit
at all.
misconstrued.
Yeah, no, that's why he's so charming, because it's he's not being a dick. He's just helping out guys that wouldn't get the door otherwise.
It's not you can get women with me. It's I'm gonna help a guy show his true personality, basically.
Right, exactly. We also see in the beginning of the movie this woman named Sarah Milas, who's played by Eva Mendes. She's famous for several things. I'm also not going to name all of her credits. She's getting back to work from a short vacation. She's got big news about a man who cheated on an heiress named Allegra Cole, who's played by Amber Valletta, which, again, I don't know. She's in a bunch of stuff. We're not going to do this.
Yeah, Allegra.
So basically, there's this B plot, or I guess it's a C plot, actually, in the whole movie, where Allegra and Eva have this weird reporter who cares about the well-being of the person that she's snooping on's life. She really cares about Allegra Cole very specifically. This is the one celebrity she gossips about, apparently.
She's assigned to her. Eva, you follow her.
It's
Allegra does.
But that's not even what her job is. That's not actually. You know what I mean? This just keeps being the case, but I'm sure her job is actually to find other gossip as well, not just about Allegra Cole.
Yeah, it's not the Allegra column. I mean, you can kind of
Exactly.
compare her to Paris Hilton at the time, where she was the one celebrity, like the hottest of the hot. So like at the time, if someone was assigned to Paris Hilton, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I guess that makes sense. But I feel like I know for a fact that Eva's job isn't just Allegra Cole. Like she's the gossip columnist. She's not
Right.
Allegra Cole's. Yeah.
But like if you zoom back to the 2000s, whatever, like that is your bread and butter. Whatever Paris Hilton does that day, like that's your story.
That is going to be your story. You're right. Yeah. They just basically explain Allegra is single because she got cheated on, and Eva Mendez's boss loves this, but she clearly works way too hard, but she doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So Justin, real quick, I need to stop the show.
Stop!
It's time for the Third Degree Quiz Show. Wow, we're throwing in Doctor Who themes in there now.
That was Doctor Who. I was trying to go for just a mysterious, ominous theme.
I am your host, Ryan Diaz, and contestant, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Baby J. I'm from Orlando, Florida.
Okay, Orlando, Florida. Shout out to Orlando. Now, your question today for all the money in the bank account of Ryan Diaz, which is negative $52.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding, I have money. Basically, this is the Third Degree Quiz Show. What we do here is we take it at a topic and we move it 3 degrees from what we're talking about and put it somewhere else, and we ask a question about that. And here's what it's going to be this time. Basically, we got our girl Eva Mendes. She's in this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's also in the movie The Other Guys, we know.
I know of the movie. I haven't seen the other guys.
Gotcha. So I thought you had, but doesn't matter. Will Ferrell's in that movie.
Yes, Will Ferrell. Oh, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And Will Ferrell in this movie has a pimp name because he used to be a pimp.
Oh, no.
What's Will Ferrell's pimp name?
And that's from the movie, The Other Guys?
Mm-hmm.
His pimp name from the movie.
And I will say, I guess Justin doesn't know this.
Can I get like a shout out to the audience? The audience of one?
Me?
Babe, have you seen The Other Guys? Shit. Okay, the audience is not helpful.
I will give you 3 hints. If I have to give you the third hint, you forfeit points.
Will Ferrell. It's gonna be like a funny, crazy fucking name, so I feel like
The
I'm not
first
gonna get
hint
it.
is it's one word.
Okay.
Second hint is it has something to do with Florida.
Florida, one word. Okay, so don't give me the third hint.
Okay.
Florida and one word. Mr. Magic Man, Mr. Disney. Is it Mr. something? No, it's 2 words. It'd be just
that's
one
2
word.
words. It's 1 word.
Damn, this is hard. Now I'm like trying to be clever about it. I gotta think of the puns because it's gonna be a funny name. It's not.
I don't even know.
Throwaway.
I don't think that there. Well, I don't think there was a reason for it either, which is what's really upsetting.
Pimp name.
Okay,
Pimp
Barry, can we
my
get 30
ride.
seconds on the clock?
Pimp
Thank
my
you.
ride.
Ding, dun, dun,
If I
dun,
guess
dun,
the wrong
dun,
one, I'll get
dun,
0
dun,
points. So
dun,
it's worth it to get
dun,
this.
dun,
How many
dun,
points am I missing if I get the third hint? Half
I'll
a
give you
point?
half a point, yeah.
All right, then just give it to me then.
Okay, more specifically, it has to do with the University of Florida.
He's a knight? UCF? University of Florida. No, it's UF, not Central Florida. So UF are the Gators. Is he a Gator?
Yep, his name is Gator.
That's his. Oh, okay, I did it. Half a point.
The alarm.
It's all right. Half a
promoter.
point's better
Yeah.
than nothing.
Half a point. Okay, Justin. Wow. So I got
Gator.
no points for that one.
I
I'm
thought it'd
not
be like a
keeping
pun
score
or
somewhere,
something.
But yeah, well, I thought, you hope for the best and you prepare for the worst always.
Does it make sense in the show? I mean, in the movie? Like, is it
Not
funny?
at all. That's what I'm saying. There's no like actual reason for it. Wait. Then we see Hitch and his buddy playing pool at some bar. They talking about a bunch of shit about commitment and playing pool. And then in the
yeah.
same bar.
That dude doesn't come up in the movie ever again.
Mm-mm.
That dude was like, "Hey, I'm happy with my girl. You can be happy with the girl too." And then he
Yeah.
fucking disappears.
And then, yeah, they're just friends, I guess. But he never comes back. It's like the whole point
Never.
of the movie, I guess.
He should have came back for the wedding in the end. Then that would have been a cute little moment.
Oh, you're right. Well, I mean, I guess he doesn't know them, so like he doesn't know Albert and
It would
Allegra.
have tied it all together. But go ahead.
You're spoiling this. In the same bar that they're talking about, what a coincidence, is sitting Sarah Milas with glasses on, sipping wine on a couch with a friend who's talking about some dude that's clearly buying lingerie for another woman. But he said he was buying it for his mom, which is weird. Cause I
It's
feel
so
like,
weird.
Why would you even buy lingerie for your mom?
You don't do that. I remember
No.
my mom used to like drag me into Victoria's Secret when we're just in the mall shopping, and I'm like, I
Gross.
feel weird. Now I'm just watching you pick up bras. Now just walk
I would
away.
never. I would leave, yeah.
I would, like, stand by the entrance like my fucking bodyguard, like I'm bouncing the fucking place.
Also, it's so funny to me that both main characters of this movie seem like they frequent this bar. And if that was the case, wouldn't they have seen each other already?
The
Like, at
one
any
bar in
point?
all of New York, right?
I know. The next day, we see Hitch standing outside of a building watching Kevin James eat a hot dog. It was weird. Somehow he's charmed by his goof, and Hitch introduces himself to Albert, which I guess at this point you kind of know that this is who he's supposed to be meeting with.
Yeah, he's looking for the underdog. That's cute.
Right. Well, no,
I
but
like
like
that.
he was recommend like they were supposed to meet each other there to like speak about the date doctor
Oh,
stuff,
right.
is what I'm saying. So it's like he was like looking for the person he's supposed to be meeting, and then happened to stare at Albert Newman, who was the person. Anyways, Kevin James plays Albert. He's famous for many things: Zookeeper, Grown Ups, Paul Blart.
He is the king of
The
Queens.
King of Queens, yeah.
Right.
So Albert explains that he's trying to get with Allegra Cole, who is a super famous something or other, and he's like her accountant, basically. Well, he's one of her accountants. She's got like a board of advisor accountants.
Yeah.
Hitch is like, that's wild, but you're a sweet tea. So I'll decide. I'll take on the challenge, and so he does. He starts to begin training him. There's some nice narration and sea splitting, and we see Albert in a business meeting with his fellow colleagues and Allegra.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're hearing the past basically. Well, Hitch is telling Albert what to do.
Yeah.
And he's telling him, you got to do something major to get her attention. And that like whole narration thing, like while you were talking about that during the movie, like it's so great to like when someone's talking about what they're doing while they're doing it, like those Ocean 11 scenes where
That's
it's
what I was to say. Yes, I fucking love that. It's like a heist movie, and like he was almost
Exactly.
pulling off a heist on her. I mean, not to steal her away, but steal her heart. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I mean,
basically,
I fucking love that moment where they're like,
we're
and then
remembering all the
we'll sneak into the
information.
back room, and you see them sneak into the back room, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
we'll miss the camera. I fucking love it.
Yeah, that's why I love those movies so much, because it's
Some
they
good-
do that a lot. It's like fast exposition, like
Yes.
you're doing multiple things at once. It's like you're really just picking it up.
Like you're narrating, you're giving exposition, but also it's like really good dialogue because Will Smith has got a lot to say about like the human psyche and like how we react to certain things. So it's like very
Right.
like informational. You're like, oh, that is smart, and then you're also
Yeah.
watching something kind of tense happen in front of your eyes.
Yeah, and it's like quick, and like everyone has to make decisions. Like it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Like the cameraman has to make decisions. The fucking actors have to make decisions. The director has to make decisions. Like it's like that exposition is just such a like fun way to flow through, especially scenes like that where it's like heists or like trying to like using the information you just got to do something like
Right, because when I
instead of
explain
telling
the whole
us-
plot.
yeah
And
instead
then
of
just
telling
watch
us
us
and then
do it.
showing it exactly do it at the same time and then you save time. Hitch tells Albert he's got to do something major to get her attention.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting there with all the board of advisors. Allegra is such a sweet tea, and she wants to invest in her friend's fashion designs or art or something. I couldn't remember what it was.
She's like, I have a friend who's in fashion. Do you think
my
I
friend-
can get $500,000?
My friend Maggie, I want to give her $500,000, like 500,000.
Right.
Which she said it so like nonchalantly, but I was over here like, damn girl, $500,000 for fashion.
Yeah, because like you want to say, oh well, she, you need to believe in what she's doing. You don't trust this board of stuffy men in suits. But at the
Well,
same
that's what I was
time, she
getting
didn't exactly plead her case. She wasn't like, oh, and this all looks good financial side. She was like, oh, I have
Yeah.
a friend and she's got really good fashion sense.
Well, but like what I was about to say is, she says that, and then the lead advisor is like, maybe like let's wait a month and then we'll talk about some other stuff. And then Allegra's all upset, so Albert's like, all right, this is my moment to do something big. He gets up and he takes sides with Allegra, saying that it's her money. She should do whatever she wants with it. Fucking call JJ Wentworth or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going for.
877 cash now. It's your
877
money.
cash
Use it when
now.
you need it. You know?
Yeah, girl. He was like, you need to trust your own sense. That's your money. Don't trust these, bozos over here.
Yeah.
These
The lead-
jabronis.
The lead advisor's all pissy about this, and Albert eventually just quits. He goes back to his office when Hitch is there, and then they have like this weird wrestling fight because like Albert wants to go back and like apologize, but Hitch is like, no, we're good. And then Allegra comes and knocks on the door, and she wants to have lunch with Albert, but like he's like too starstruck to say anything. So Coach is behind the door, like coaching him on what to say and like putting pens in his pockets and stuff. And then like closing the door. It was really funny. And then so they plan to have lunch to discuss all that fashion shit.
Yeah, once you said that he wanted to apologize, I kind of forgot. He does kind of neg her in that little speech. Like, he empowers her, but not before negging her real hard.
Yeah, not before saying, you're not a fucking child. Grow up, bitch.
Yes! He literally said, you are not a child. And I was like, oh, damn!
Yeah, it's wild.
But then empowered her, little neg,
Mhm.
little positive.
So then we cut to the bar that Hitch and Sarah were both at before. And Sarah is getting hit on by a douchebag, which she's clearly not interested. And then
That
our
was
boy Will
so
comes
annoying.
in and he saves the day. Yeah, she was all, "You like Cuban food?" He was
You
all,
like Cuban food?
And
He's
she's
like,
like,
"Not
"I'm really
listening."
not interested." And he's like, "Oh, great." And she's like, "Awesome." And he's like, "So what's it like to be so hot?" And she's like, "What? Did I not just say I'm not interested?"
And
He
then
just
that
wasn't listening to
classic
her.
move. Will Smith comes in like, "Oh, hey, honey, how was the meeting?" I love that.
Oh,
Like, pretend to
is
be
that
your boyfriend to save
is
you
that
from a.
That's a classic move.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that a
don't.
lot.
I can't think of a specific movie, but I know there's been like movies or shows where the guy like that's his way in, like saving her from another crappy dude.
The only
Like,
thing,
"Oh, hey, babe, what's
yeah,
up?"
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I know what you're saying, but the only thing I can think of is when Joseph Gordon-Levitt asks Ellen Page to make out with him in Inception, so that the
Yeah.
people
Oh,
won't turn on
that's-
him.
That also
then he
happens.
goes-
That's like
then
a
he goes
fake out,
worth a
make out
shot.
to trick
Yeah.
somebody else. But then
I've
we
seen a lot of fake
are
out
we
makeouts.
catching? Are we
Yeah.
catching feelings because it's fake out, make out?
No,
or
I mean,
like-
I didn't get a love sense from them at all in the whole movie. That was just Joseph Gordon-Levitt being silly in a dream.
And then sometimes they don't even say fake out, make out. They like go for the make out, and then when they pull back, they're like, "What was that?" And he's like,
Yeah. He's
"There's a
like,
spy in 3
There's a-
o'clock."
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, Angelina Jolie does that in Wanted, I think.
Yeah. Oh well, no, that's like a get back at your ex kind of like make out.
Oh yeah, you're right.
These are
Is that
all
the only time
different
they kiss?
movie trope makeouts.
Yeah. There's
No,
a
I
lot
think
of
they-
movie trope
I think they
makeouts, I
kiss
guess.
more. Yeah.
So, yeah, so Sarah's getting hit on. Will comes in. He saves the day by pretending to be your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Hitch and Sarah have a flirty-ass conversation about dating, and then they introduce themselves. But then Hitch is all, okay, bye. And
That
he
was
leaves her
good.
so, yeah, because it leaves her really interested. And, it's exactly what his plan is.
That was some really good dialogue in that little
Mhm.
scene because he's obviously so confident and like knows exactly how to get to her, and she's so like aloof that like she
Right.
always knows the comeback to kind of like brush him aside. So it was like an
Yeah.
interesting little like back and forth there, and they kind of keep that through like the whole movie. They're both very like smart people, so they have really good dialogue.
Yeah, up until she fucks up real big, and then he's all with the big dialogue, and she's all, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he like can't even find the words.
Oh God, I hate this movie now that I'm thinking. Like, the more you think about it, the more you hate it, because it's like, what is this will they, won't they bullshit? Like, God, they like
I mean, of
chase
course.
each other, and then they're like mad at each other again, and then they chase each other, and then they're...
Like, of course, it's a rom com from 2000, girl. I saw this coming. Although
Anyways,
I will say, I said like 1,000 times, I thought that he was gonna have to hitch someone to a girl, and he was gonna fall in love with the girl, and that was gonna be the problem. But she was actually a whole separate thing. He had a side
Yeah.
hustle, and the girl he was talking to separate.
which I think was great.
Yeah.
So the next day, we see Sarah get a package at her workplace from some courier, which I try to explain to Justin. It's like, a thing that people do in the city. They like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt, that biking movie.
You said Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What movie are you talking about?
He's a biker, and he goes real fast.
Oh.
I think it's called Cycler or Cyclist or Bike Fast or
Bike
he
Psychopaths,
does a bunch of
Courier.
like, hold on, Joseph Gordon.
Oh.
It's such a good movie. He gets hit by a car twice.
Oh. Wait, I feel like I've seen this movie. I remember Joseph Gordon-Levitt flipping over like a car door, like when
Yeah,
it
and then
opened or
he's, like-
something.
And he's in like a Premium Rush. We saw this movie together.
Premium Rush.
He's
That
like
does
in
sound
a
familiar.
he's like in a garage at one point, and he like steals a bike to get out of the garage, and he's doing all these like cool BMX tricks and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did see this movie together, but it's great. It's a good movie.
I definitely have seen it. I don't remember like the overall plot, like what the fuck he's supposed to be doing, but I remember him on a bike and flipping over stuff.
Premium Rush. Anyways, Premium Rush asshole comes into Eva's workplace
Mhm.
and ends up bringing walkie-talkies to her from Hitch, and he's on the other line. He asks her
Oh, that was
basically to go out
cute.
on Sunday, to go on some jet skis. She's all fickle, but she says yes, and then another package pops up with a wetsuit for the date. The date ends up being actually like really horrific. Will actually kicks her off the jet ski, right in her fucking mouth.
Kicks her in the face. That was
Yeah.
wild. I'm
At
glad
7
I haven't
a.m..
seen that movie because that shit caught me off guard.
Yeah. And then he digs up some information about her family history, too, which he thinks will impress her, but it actually turns out really bad because her great-grandfather was, like, a butcher. And, like, when I mean butcher, I mean, like, serial killer butcher. So,
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, she
watching
didn't
her
like that too much.
watching her hysterically cry. But that was a cute scene, I will say. I just had a
Yeah.
little trip to New York last year, and I was at Ellis Island, and they definitely like move stuff around for this filming because there's like so many. What do you call it? Like when you go to a museum,
Well,
like
this
an
was
exhibit.
also 15 years ago, Justin.
I mean, true, but it was always a museum. It was always like a place for the public to look at and stuff like that. Because there's
Maybe
like
it used
so
to be
many.
just a giant room like that.
I mean, maybe I might be wrong, but when I went, there was shit everywhere. There was people everywhere. There was a whole bunch of like informational panels. It wasn't just one giant empty room with a book in the middle. Obviously, he set it up for the date. Like he
Right.
told the bodyguard, like, turned it to the right
bodyguard.
page.
Yeah.
Oh, the security guard.
Yeah, I feel you. Maybe that is the case, but regardless, they had a great time on the date, even though it was bad, and they decided, I think, that they were going to see each other again. And then we see Hitch kind of plan a day with Allegra. This time they're going to a fashion event to meet her friend Maggie. So Hitch helps him learn how to dance properly, but he's not really getting it, like at all. He's trying to just teach him, keep your arms in, keep your in one spot, kind of just go left to right, do the 2-step. But, Kevin James wants to go all out, wants to be all crazy, so, he doesn't really like that whole be not yourself thing.
Yeah, and that kind of lends itself to the moral ambiguity, the moral gray area that this guy lives in. Because it's not wrong to do research on who you're dating. If you say, like, oh, she went to Yale. Now I know I can talk about Yale. That's one thing. But if you're trying to hide who you are, like, hey, don't dance like how you usually dance like this, that's not evil or anything. But is that good? Somewhere in that gray area.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because then he can let it shine later. He gets to, like, be himself later. So you need to kind of give her a little taste and then, lead it on. Because she does dance crazy. She dances like a fucking maniac later on. And they're, like, perfect for each other. But I guess
definitely.
you can't let that show in the beginning. Is that what we're supposed to get from this,
I
moral of
mean,
the story?
you always want to kind of inch in the crazy anyway. You don't want to just give him crazy all at once.
Right. Like, you're not just going to say, I love you off the
bat. If my girlfriend
bat.
gave me all her crazy at once, I probably wouldn't have made it as far as I did.
So that lives in that weird gray area.
She wasn't listening. I was waiting for her to say something, but she didn't say anything. Albert meets Maggie, which ends up being a man. So he gets all flustered. And then he asks a couple of her other friends about the stadium that was supposed to be built for the Mets, but it wasn't actually built. So that was real dumb. Like, okay, at the time of filming, there was a stadium, like, in the talks. And so when this movie is supposed to take place, that stadium is to have already been built. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh,
in real life. But in the movie, it's already been built. So but in real life, it didn't get built. So like when the movie came out, he's talking about a fucking stadium that doesn't exist.
Oh, that's funny. That's something I
Yeah.
would have caught if I, like, lived in New York and knew at the time.
Yeah, it was just real funny. So
That's interesting.
yeah. So he dances all crazy, and the reporters catch it. But Allegra seems to be having a good time with him, which is great. Now is when things get kind of crazy. So Hitch meets with a prospective client named Vance, who's a total dickhead.
Oh, God, he was gross.
Vance says basically he's trying to fuck this girl he met at a lingerie store.
Like, literally, hit it and quit it. He was like,
Yeah.
no other terms. Like, yeah, I just need to, bang her, and then I'll get over it. Oof.
Yeah.
Get it out of my head,
He said, I just need to sleep with her, I think. Just have sex with her.
Hit it and quit it. Bump and
Hit
dump.
it and quit it. Hitch does not like this guy at all, and he tries to leave, but Vance thinks money can change his mind. Hitch goes, nah, son, it ain't that kind of movie, and, like, almost breaks his arm, and then he walks out.
See you later, pumpkin.
Yeah, bye, pumpkin. We then see Sarah and her boss discussing gossip that got out about Allegra. She was at an event with an unknown man who was Albert, and the boss is all upset that Sarah didn't get the scoop and wants to know what is going on. Sarah finds out that Hitch is the one who got the tickets to this event, and so she asks him how he knows them. He says he doesn't know them and tries to deny it, all that. Basically, they end up at a dinner with her boss. It's Sarah, her boss's wife, and Hitch.
Mhm.
They're
Yes.
all together.
But yeah, they're trying to get the dirt on how he knows.
Yeah, the boss
Albert,
and
basically.
Sarah and her boss are trying to get the dirt on Albert and Allegra from Hitch while this date's going on.
While at the same time, this guy's having an allergic reaction to salmon, so he's
Right.
like blowing up and coughing
yeah.
and stuff.
While they're eating, Hitch starts like having trouble swallowing, and so they find out that he's allergic to the shellfish in the food. He gets all crazy, swells up like a balloon. They go to the store and get Benadryl, which was funny because he just like knocked over every other medication on the shelf and then grabbed Benadryl like last, and then chugged it and wanted it to work immediately.
Yeah, he like stared in the mirror like, "What's happening?
Come on, let's go!" Yeah.
I was like, "Girl, you shouldn't have grabbed the Benadryl. Grab the Allegra. She's a little bit more powerful."
So he gets all drugged up on Benadryl, and she starts asking him all these truth serum questions. He doesn't really budge though. He kind of tells her that Allegra and Albert are going to a Knicks game tomorrow, and Albert really, really loves her. And then Sarah ends up just going to the game to get photos of them for her column, so that's fine. The next day, We see Casey is upset about her date last night. Casey is the friend earlier who talked about the man with the lingerie, who happened to be Vance, who, as you know, I guess, actually ended up sleeping with her because she was up with the guy at the lingerie store. He had left her in a hurry. Basically just got up and put on his clothes and left.
I have never seen a man get dressed that so fast.
And he goes, date doctor my ass or something while he's walking out.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is fucked up. Can you imagine just like screwing and putting on your pants?
Like the second
Leonardo DiCaprio does that.
What do you mean?
In this one, not like in real life.
I thought you meant in real life. I was like,
No.
oh damn.
Yeah, you know how much I'd be fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. No, Leonardo DiCaprio he's in this movie where he's married to Kate Blanchett.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the title of the movie. Adele. Revolutionary Road. Is the title of the movie.
Gotcha.
Thanks, baby.
That was quick.
And yeah, because I guess she heard me and then she just said Revolutionary Road. So but like in that movie, he cheats on his wife. Spoilers. He cheats on his wife.
Spoilers.
And like the scene doesn't show them having sex, but it cuts to like her still in bed and him like putting on all of his clothes. And he was like a businessman, so he had like 80 layers of clothes on. So he had to put on his shirt, his vest, put on his tie, put on his jacket, and walk out. It was like a whole thing. It took a whole scene. They like had a conversation while he was doing it. Anyway, Casey said she wants to kick the date doctor in the ass because that's who helped the man that she went out with. Sarah finds the jerk that Casey went out with to see who the date doctor is, and all I can tell her is where she could find him. He doesn't know his name or anything like that. So she sets up his date for the date doctor to meet a friend of hers who's the gay friend. And they have a fake meeting. She finds out the date doctor is Hitch, which we all knew inevitably was going to happen. She's all upset, so she fucking runs away instead of asking him what's going on.
Of course.
Because, irrational.
Yeah.
Like, she just literally, like, I mean, I get it. Like, I do get it. But she didn't have any of the facts, so, like, at least ask the person that it's coming from what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the whole moral of the story is to not be guarded and to be vulnerable and to show your true feelings, basically.
Don't judge a book by its gossip cover.
Yeah. Very good.
She is so upset that she ends up writing a whole gossip article on him, explaining the entire situation without getting the right facts. She also, like, includes the fact that Albert and Allegra are in on this, and Allegra thinks that everything was just an act, so Albert is crushed, and Hitch is fucking ruined. He doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah, that was fucked up. The news title said, Can this date doctor hook you up with Allegra? Or like something like that. Like, can he get you?
Yeah, can you get you into bed with Allegra Cole?
That's what it was, yeah. That's fucked up.
That's fucked up. Hitch is really upset that Sarah didn't get the facts right before writing the article. He goes to the speed dating thing that she's at, and she ends up learning the truth because he like yells at her. Once she learns the truth, she apologizes to Hitch like a couple days later, but he's too upset to accept this, and he blows her off. Then we see Hitch is preparing to move out. For some reason, I guess you can't work in New York anymore because everyone in New York knows you. Well, I guess you could move to like Seattle and do your job there. Like, I guess that's what he was probably gonna do is just go to another city where
the next big city.
Like a big city where you could just like keep helping people get in love and stuff.
Yeah.
We see him, he's fixing to move, and Albert comes in and he asks if he could fix the situation. Hitch is bitter about pretty much everything and thinks love is just like overrated now. Albert tells him Hitch is a liar for what he did to all the men he helped, and he should have helped men if love is not what he believes in.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it isn't the cold, hard truth, but it is like a distant, bottled up truth that Hitch had held inside him, for a long time. The fact that he was able to open up to Sarah in a way that like he stayed with her longer than he usually lets himself meant something, and the fact that it all blew up in his face was like a double validation that he should never try again.
Yeah, that's so hard to see. This is like that all hope is lost moment where everything's just like fucked up.
Yeah. And like we know we saw it happen when he was in college, so he's like, nah, fucking fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, and you ain't gonna fool me again.
Mm-hmm. Load the chopper, let it rain on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know it, J. Cole.
J. Cole.
So shout out to J. Cole. Albert leaves. He's all pissy, and then Hitch begins to think about everything. He decides he's gonna help Albert, and he runs to meet Allegra Cole, tell her that Albert wasn't actually acting, and that he feels the real way about her, and that all the dorky things he did on their dates was really him and had nothing to do with Hitch. Allegra believes him, and she takes Albert back, only right before my boy King of Queens sacked the Fresh Prince and fucking chokes him out.
He
Literally
was
about to-
choking him. I was like,
literally
girl,
about to eat him. Like
that is
fucking-
$100 million throat. Do not touch
Yeah.
Will Smith.
I couldn't believe that Will let that happen. I'd
This
be
is
like, "Don't touch-"
2005.
Yeah, you should better CGI a neck on me. I ain't fucking about to get.
Yes. CGI chokehold.
So Hitch then runs to Sarah to tell her all his feelings, but because he's always been the guy behind the door, he's never actually had to do it. He's having a real difficult time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think he could just phone it in at this point, to be honest. Like, just go straight sociopath and just say what she wants to hear, even though that's not from the heart. But I guess it's not
Right.
really the point of the movie or this speech. So, but like, I feel like at that point, if I really don't know what to say, I'm just gonna like turn my shit off and go into movie mode and just start, you know what I mean? Like just saying shit that I
Yeah,
want to hear.
giving you that real long love speech.
Yeah,
But instead,
it's-
he like
you can-
cannot find the words, which
He's
is
like,
interesting.
"Fuck." Yeah.
In the moment, I was like frustrated. I was like, come on, Will Smith, you're freaking. You're like
You're the
not a
Hitch.
psychiatrist, but you're a Hitch. You know exactly
You're
what
the
to say. But in this moment, he couldn't find the words.
Sarah isn't really buying it, and she tries to tell him to leave, but he definitely does not leave. He ends up telling her how he feels about her, but Sarah opens the door, and there is another man. behind her.
Girl, I was so shook.
Yeah, he
I
was
was
like,
so
"Oh, no."
shook. I mean, 20
believe
minutes
it.
later, like 20 seconds later, you find out that it's they're not really doing it. But I was like so offended. I was like, Eva Mendes, you fucking
Eva.
slut.
Her name is Eva.
Eva, who cares?
She cares, and I care.
She can write me a letter after she hears this podcast.
Well, I doubt she will. Sarah says it's too late. Starts to leave with the guy that she just opened the door with. Hitch
He
goes
doesn't
after
say
them.
shit.
He jumps on her little Mini Cooper. Yeah, he doesn't say anything the whole time. She finally stops, which throws Hitch off the car. Dumb. Like, learn physics.
Yeah.
The man ends up being her brother-in-law, and she takes back Hitch. They have a sweet little reunion in the end, and we see Albert and Allegra at their wedding all dancing. We get to see the Duchess of the Hitch, which is the original Hitchmaker.
Yeah,
the woman who taught Hitch everything she knows.
Did he mention that somewhere in the movie? Like,
No,
oh yeah,
it's
I've
extended
been
universe. I'm telling
taught
you, it's just
all
that
I know
scene.
by the Duchess.
It's just that scene.
Okay, gotcha. There's
She's
no
not real.
sequel.
I
There's
made-
no
I'm-
follow up.
I made her up.
But like that's exactly what the role is, you know.
Yeah,
He may not
it's
have
the-
said Duchess, but like
the
she gave
Duchess
him the
of-
wink, like a
Yeah.
after she set somebody else up, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe also because that was. I'm thinking now that's Sarah's friend, so maybe she was like, "Hey, go over there and pretend to choke, and then everything will fall into place."
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that's all the story basically. The music is by George Fenton. He did music for every single Attenborough film, every Hinter film, every Frears film, for Groundhog Day, for Multiplicity, for You've Got Mail, for Bewitched, for Fool's Gold, The Bounty Hunter, and Last Holiday. Bunch
Wow,
of shit.
Very, very 2000s rom com.
Yeah. We can't really play the film location game because they filmed this in what city?
It was all New York City,
Yeah.
baby.
I was a little picky. That first opening scene, he says, communication is 60% of body language and 30% is your tone, meaning 90% of what you're saying ain't coming out of your mouth. But tone actually refers to the tone of your voice, which does in fact come out of your mouth. So,
Right. And then
yeah.
those are conflicting numbers. Hold on. 60% of your body language, 30% your tone. So 90% of what you're saying
ain't
coming out your mouth. I thought you just said it was 60% of ain't coming out your mouth and 30%.
No.
Okay.
He's saying 30% is tone, meaning 90% of what you're saying ain't coming out of your mouth, which he's saying
so tone
isn't,
as in the inflection of your voice, basically, not like
Yeah.
what you're saying.
not what you're saying, but tone literally does come out of your mouth, so that doesn't track.
Yeah, all around doesn't track. These numbers are funky.
Yeah. We saw how her hair changes length, style, and position throughout the scene where he's trying to win her back.
Oh yeah, it went from like up to down, in like 0.2 seconds of a camera switch.
Do you want to hear something so funny?
What?
So, okay, Eva Mendes was actually in the music video for Miami, the Will Smith song, like "A la Vida, Miami."
Mm-hmm.
She was actually the girl in the car lip syncing "Bienvenido a Miami." If
Oh.
you look it up right now, real quick, I'll give you time because it's like just type in Eva Mendes in Will Smith Miami, and it's like a 10-second clip of her just driving the car.
Does that song come out before or after?
What? Hell yeah! Do you know when Miami came out?
No, I don't.
98 or something.
I don't really listen to Will Smith music like that.
Oh, I did when I was a kid. I used to love Will Smith. It came out in 1998. Yep.
Evan Mendez, Miami Video. Oh, look at her. She looks so young.
Mendez actually mentioned that to Will Smith during rehearsals one time. Smith sheepishly admitted that he did not remember her.
Oh, I don't know her. That's like the Mariah Carey situation all over again.
What happened to Mariah Carey?
Mariah Carey insists that she does not know Jennifer Lopez. It's a whole thing. She's like, because there's been like an interview basically where at first it was J-Lo's interview and she was like, oh yeah, I met Mariah Carey. We were in the backstage and, I just said hi to her real quick and we had a little conversation. And then like the next time that Mariah Carey has an interview, they bring it up like, oh yeah, J-Lo said that she met you and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't know her. And they're like, oh, well, J-Lo said that you knew her. And she's like, I don't know her. And that's like the famous quote, I don't know her. And then in the next J-Lo interview, I can't believe you don't know this. And then the next J-Lo interview, she was like, oh yeah, she keeps saying she doesn't know me. We met. I remember it. It's here. And it's a whole back and forth.
Why would she lie about that? Like,
I don't know. I mean, maybe she doesn't remember. Like she's been quoted saying that down the line. She's like, well, if we met, it was like a hi and bye. I don't remember it. I don't know her. Hashtag I don't know her.
That's so funny. I did not know that happened.
Yes.
According to Will Smith, the female lead was supposed to be a Caucasian because obviously you can't put a black man with a black woman or a Hispanic woman. You're going to cause too much uproar.
This ain't a black rom-com.
But the producers didn't want to make the lead couple interracial because it was considered taboo at the time. This is so
2005. This is
they also did not want the female lead to be black because they didn't want to alienate white audiences.
That's exactly what would have happened. 2005. That would have been like a B movie.
Hispanic female lead instead.
Yeah, it's like interracial, but almost not really.
And actually, talk about J-Lo. She actually turned down this role.
J-Lo?
Yeah, she was offered the Sarah Milas role.
Oh my God! I was
talking about her. I would have loved to see Sarah Milas and Will Smith. I mean, I would have loved to see J-Lo and Will Smith.
Yeah, well, I don't know her.
But you don't know who?
Who? You said G-Lo?
J-Lo?
H-Lo?
Anyways.
J-Lo, gotcha.
A picture of Alexander Skarsgård appears as the tabloid photograph of Allegra's cheating boyfriend. So the guy that cheats on Allegra in the beginning of the movie was supposed to be played by Alexander Skarsgård.
Wait, I know who that is. Hold on. Who is that?
It's one of the Skarsgård boys.
I know the Skarsgård. Alexander Skarsgård. I was just watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
The Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, this guy. He's in Big Little Lies. He plays like the biggest asshole I've ever seen. He is a rapist, maniac, domestic abuser. Not to spoil the show, but he's a real asshole. And it's hard to like look at somebody's face and not remember that asshole character because I want to be like, damn, this guy sucks, but he's just an actor. He's a handsome man, though. Handsome man.
Yeah. 3 years before breaking out in True Blood, Skarsgård played James's romantic rival.
Oh, he was
Kevin
in
James's
True Blood.
Romantic rival. They actually shot a huge sequence at Madison Square Garden with Alexander Skarsgård, Will Smith, Kevin James, and Allegra Cole. And it was like 12 minutes long. It was during the Knicks game. It was in the tunnels. But there's not a confrontation, but a definite meeting. But it got cut. He said that it didn't.
Where would they have
when
taken place?
When they're at the right before the Knicks game. When they were at the Knicks game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, the sequence is about trying to convince the audience that Kevin's character was the most worthy of Allegra's love, but we just didn't need it. People loved Kevin James from the first scene.
Right, like trying to compare them and just really show how much of an asshole this guy is and why Allegra and him are even better together. Now, honey,
that would make sense.
Yeah, that's like a show don't tell because that would have been telling us that they're better, but all you needed to see was Kevin James and Allegra dancing like stupid idiots.
Exactly.
Together. That's all we need to know. All right, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, Will Smith was really key in the shaping of the scene in which Hitch tells Albert how to do his first kiss. It's funny. The director said this. Will looked around at the location in the West Village and said, "This is beautiful. Why are we only shooting half a page here?" We called Tenet. Oh, that's the director's name.
Yes.
He goes on to say, "We got onto a conversation of walking a girl to the door, and Will said, 'Have you ever heard of the 90-10 rule?' He explained what it was, and they all started riffing on jiggling keys and decided what they're going to do. And then the scene where he walks to the door, they didn't actually have a door to like do that at, and you can't just film at some random door location. So they started going door to door. They literally picked a brownstone, go up to the stairs, knock on the door together, and guess whose apartment it is?
Whose?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
What?
It's her apartment. And she looks at, this is what he said.
Oh
she looks at us like, wait, hi, what's going on? And we ask if we can use her stoop for a scene. that we haven't written yet. And she's like, sure. So that door is actually where Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker live.
Oh my God, Sex in the City? That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
that's like all the facts I have. We do get to play a little game.
It's Money Mumble! Money Mumble.
What do you think the budget of this movie was?
There wasn't any crazy stunts, but we had to rent out Ellis Island. We had to clear that bitch clear. We got some jet skis. We only have like some shoots. So it's always in the millions. I'm going to say like 10 million.
Justin, how much did it Click cost again? Like 70 million or something?
Was it 70 million? There was a lot of CGI going on in that movie. There was not a hint of CGI in this movie.
but like
But we do have big stars. We have
Will Smith,
and
and
Eva, and
Tashfelt in New
Kevin
York,
James.
and then there
All
no
right.
movie costs $10 million anymore. So just get that low 10, 20, get that out of your head. No, that
All
doesn't
right.
happen.
I'm going to jump up to 50 then. Is that our nice round number?
Your final answer?
Final answer, 50 mil.
All right, the budget was $55 to $70 million. It's not confirmed.
All right.
Approximately 55 to 70 million. How much do you think she earned?
She definitely made her money back. It's Will Smith. We didn't do a black couple. We did an interracial Eva Mendes. So we got to the interracial. We got to the mainstream audience. I'm gonna say at least 300 mil. I'm gonna say we made our money back. What is that? 6 times over.
You're very close. We made $368.1 million, which is actually the
Damn.
most money earned on this podcast. It barely beat The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, which was $345 million.
Oh, I like that you compared it to the other ones. It's very smart. And Will Smith,
Yeah.
she sells. She
Yeah,
sells
she does.
butts and seats. Okay,
She does. That she does.
she puts the butts in the seats. Proud of you, Will.
So it's time for our favorite part. It's the final rating.
Oh girl. I was not thinking about this. All right, what's the first category?
Likability. I like the shit out of this movie. I'll give it a solid 9. I was going to say 8, but I think I like it a little bit more.
And I was gonna go for an 8. I was scared you were gonna go for a 10, and I was gonna have to like talk you off a ledge.
All right, let's go
because-
8 then. We'll go 8 with it because I barely pushed myself to a 9. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's
Um,
likable. It's good. It's fun. It's not like over the top.
Execution. This movie was fucking hella cheesy. I feel like you might have been able to get through the same thing without making it so goddamn cheesy.
Really? I didn't. I was scared there was gonna be so much more cheese. I am like really cheese averse. You can call me
I think you need
lactose
to-
intolerant when it
You
comes
need
to
to watch
that.
that movie one more time and this time like really listen to the words this fucker's saying out of his mouth.
I mean,
Did you hear
you're
that
right.
toast that he gave her? Like, who the fuck are you, Will Smith?
The
Everything
dialogue
he
can
says.
be very like fortune teller, like very like love guru, you know. But that was kind of the point of the movie, so I kind of like didn't hate it.
Never cheat, lie, or steal. If
You either need to be.
lie with someone you love.
Oh yeah, that was
If
fucking.
cheat,
That was so bad.
Like,
That was
bro,
the cheesiest line in the movie, and I'll give you that one.
I
That
don't
was
think
pretty
that was
bad.
the cheesiest line in the movie. At the end, he goes, "No, you hurt yourself, because that's what love is. It's all about the way, the blah blah blue blue." This movie's so fucking cheesy. Execution 6. No, I'll give it a. I'll give it a 7. Yeah,
Solid
because
7.
it does. I guess it did do a rom-com, but it was just so fucking cheesy.
It was pretty cheesy.
Engageability. I love this movie. I was watching the whole time. A 9.
I will say that though, about just putting down that cheese real quick. It either needs to be so out of this like world cheesy where I'm like, this is stupid. This is exactly what they wanted to do, or like it's not cheesy at all, and it was somewhere in the middle. So that's why we're giving it a 7.
Yeah.
All right, what was the last one?
Engageability, and I didn't stop watching. I think a 9.
Oh yeah, there was great dialogue. I wanted to hang on to every word because they really planned it out. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 9. I'm gonna meet you
All
there.
right. Final rating is an 8.
Solid 8. This is a
Solid
good movie.
8. We love an 8. Yeah, it was a good movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. I have always loved this movie. I used to watch this movie with my mom a lot, and I think this is it's a good rom-com. She
That's
gets the
cute.
job done.
It's a family-friendly rom-com. It's not rom-com like too much, like too many sex scenes. Like this is
It's
you
not
can watch it with
raunchy.
with your mom and still have a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
I like this. I don't think Will Smith will ever get lower than a 7. That would be like the lowest of the low because Will Smith, even if the movie itself is bad, he himself is gonna bring it up. You know.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make I'll make an amendment rule right now that any movie that we have that's Will Smith, if the rating comes out to less than 8, it will automatically be bumped up to an 8. This includes the newest Spies in Disguise movie. I feel like that movie's gonna be trash, but
It looks
got Will
decent. I
Smith
walked
in
in
it,
on a
so
few
I'll get an 8.
scenes. I don't know. Tom Holland is an excellent actor, but it depends on what kind of lines they give him.
yeah, you only. There's a lot of actors like that where you can only you like
You can
like
only hand it up so
Ewan
far.
McGregor. Ewan McGregor is perfect. If you give him good dialogue, he'll give you a good movie. If you give him bad dialogue, he'll give you a bad movie because he's just there to do what you tell him to do. And if you tell him to do the bad, like George Lucas. Oh, okay, we're not doing this anyway.
If you give him like 3 lines in all of Phantom Menace and between that shitstorm of a dialogue of a movie, then yeah, you're gonna get a bad performance. But if you give him Black Mask, like in Birds of Prey, he can have so much fun with it.
So Justin,
What's up?
how do you feel?
How do I feel?
How do you feel?
I should probably start getting these ready beforehand, but
No, we're speaking
off
from
the
heart
top of the
from now on.
dome, off the top of my heart, I feel like it's not my wedding, but it's I could say my best friend's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure we're that close, but if he's able to stomp into my apartment and stop me from moving across the country, we're now best friends, and I'm watching him get married, and we're just together with our girls that we met through weird means, but in the end, we are meant for each other.
That was
And
so
now
weird.
we're dancing with our girls, and now we're
The
dancing
girls.
all together in a giant wedding, and we just don't care. We just don't care about how we look and what the circumstances may be, but because we're together. Yeah,
Well, you know what? I was
That's how I
chucking you,
feel.
but you got there. You did get
that's how I
there.
feel.
I guess you got there. I can
feel
only
like-
give you that.
I feel like the wedding at the end of Shrek, or the wedding at the end of Hitch.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
And now I can use that as a reference too.
There you go. Wow.
The wedding at the end of Hitch.
The wedding at the end of Hitch?
Ryan, how do
good.
you feel?
Oh, God, my guy.
How do you feel right now?
When you say that, so many things come to my mind. But at the end of the day, I just feel like a girl sitting in a club with her glasses on,
Oh,
just trying to fucking enjoy my dirty martini. I don't
No
want to fucking
earrings.
hear nothing from these bullshit ass suave individuals.
she don't want no damn apple teenies.
I don't want
Does she
none of
look
that.
like an apple teeny bitch?
No, I just want to relax. I want to watch my Hitch.
I want to drink
and
my
I want
Grey
to
Goose
drink my
double
Grey Goose double
dirty.
That's it. That's all I want. I don't want nothing else, and that's how I feel, motherfucker.
Oh, I like that. I
Mhm.
like that, Eva.
This is how you feel the podcast. This is how we feel the podcast. I'm Ryan Diaz. That's Justin Venez. You can follow us on social media and all that. It's all located on our website, Rusty Window Studios. Rusty Ninja
Studios.
RustyNinjaStudios.com, RustyNinjaStudios.com, RustyNinjaStudios.com. Please visit the website. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Twitter, Instagram. We're at your mom's house for the cookouts on Sundays. We go to temple on Thursday, and we don't reside in the same state.
And we always wear pink on Wednesdays, guys.
And we always wear pink on Wednesdays. Once again, I've been Ryan Diaz.
And I'm Baby J. Thanks for listening.
And as always, was that even in the movie?
That was, right? That was like
I don't
that
know.
one song in the beginning.
Let me clear my throat. No, I don't think that happened.
It's there was another hip hop song that I'm thinking of. That wasn't it? No, there was another song.
No, it
man.
was in the club.
You
No,
should
no,
know.
it was Usher. It was Ursher. Yeah. It was boom, bing, boom, bing.
That's the one.
Boom, bing, boom, bing.
Wait, what's
God,
that
we're
one?
so stupid. It was that one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the club with your homies.
What were they dancing to at the end in the wedding? Do you remember what song that was?
No.
I thought love was only true in fairy
And
tales.
as always, I thought love was only true in fairy tales. Bye.
This is how we feel. 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 This is how we feel.
That was the one.
Ooh, that was good.
Last one
I
was
felt the harmony.